Well, now, a combination of pandemic-related supply chain problems and the closing of a big manufacturer's plant has led to a major shortage of baby formula in the United States. In recent weeks, it's become so severe that President Biden has launched Operation Fly Formula to import supplies. Well, one of the foreign companies stepping in is the family-owned British company Kendamil. And joining me now is Wilf McMahon. He's Kendamil's commercial director. Wilf, welcome to you. For people who haven't necessarily been up to speed with this, I mean, this has basically been caused by a big product recall in the US.
Absolutely, Ian. I mean, the most immediate issue is, of course, what has happened to Abbott, which is 48% market share in the US. They have had to do a widespread recall, and as you've mentioned, COVID disruptions haven't helped. But the real problem, the structural problem that has caused this crisis in the US is one of concentration. For the world's biggest consumer country, the top four companies still control over 90% of the supply of formula. And believe it or not, in the UK, that was a situation that also existed not too long ago. Before Kendamil's arrival into the UK, you had a situation similarly where two brands control 80% of the market. So for such an essential source of nourishment for children, it's frankly something that shouldn't exist. And we found that parents really want that choice, and they want modern challenger brands that can step up and fill that gap. And that's what Kendamil are here to do.
And how much formula do you hope to be able to ship to the US?
Well, Ian, we're going to begin immediately, hopefully air freighting product as soon as next week. The open window for a brand like ours to help parents in the US runs until November, and we hope to produce up to 2 million cans of product specifically to help parents in need over in the States. But what I should also add, of course, is that we are now the fastest growing brand in the UK. We've got a huge consumer base across 6,000 stores in Britain. And our priority, of course, will be to ensure that first we maintain supply for our parents who rely on us here. We're very fortunate to have a factory that's at just 50% of its capacity. So this was a human tragedy. We wanted to step up and help. And we're very proud to have a team that allowed us to do it.
And to be absolutely clear, to pick up on what you just said, that there is no way that UK consumers will miss out as a result of this initiative.
Absolutely not. In fact, Ian, we are seeing 900% growth of the Kendamil brand over the last 2 years in the UK, and we're forecasting similar growth going forward. So we have absolutely covered for that capacity, and most of the supply we'll be giving to the US will be gotten from extra days of production, moving from a 5-day to a 7-day drying schedule. So everything will be incremental.
The US Food and Drink Administration has very, very strict rules indeed about what can be imported into the US. Is that potentially going to be a stumbling block?
Well, Ian, it is a stumbling block for many European brands. For Kendamil, we are quite unique in that the Kendamil recipes sold in the UK are fully nutritionally compliant with the US. And it might surprise people to know that the US nutritional requirements for baby formula are not the same as in Europe. Different iron levels, different protein standards. So this is what really unlocked things with the FDA for Kendamil. We were able to move very quickly, provide them a product that met all the nutritional requirements, of course, in English language cans. And of course, we had a very, very good relationship with the FDA over the last 5 years. We have a 60-year heritage of making formula here in Britain, and that was something that gave them immense trust in us as a brand.
And how are you trading day to day right now, apart from all that? Are you seeing much of a pressure coming in from inflationary inputs?
Well, like everybody, Ian, certainly supply chains are challenged, and baby formula is no exception. I think where we have a unique advantage relative to other brands, say here in the UK, where we've seen big inflation in other baby formula brands, is that we have a fully British supply chain. So we've been shielded from some of the impacts of certainly Brexit, but also more recently COVID, because we work with local British farmers. We get our oils, our whey, our vitamins and minerals all from here in the UK. And that has allowed us to really shield our supply chain. And what it means for consumers is that Kendamil has been able to actually, during this period of inflation, we've become even more competitive per 100 grams versus other brands. So inflation is certainly real. It affects everybody. But we find that sourcing locally and working with local suppliers, of which the quality is so high here in Britain, really helps.
Okay. All right, well, good to talk to you this morning. I think I called you Wilf earlier on, for which I apologise. Put it down to old age.
Okay.
I need some formula myself.